made it even worse. So we have a very toxic dynamic. And I believe that social media caters more to the right fringe than to anything else. But you are a point of comparison that negates that premise because your growth has been awesome. You are a big deal on YouTube. Having 3-4 million followers is humongous. Puts you in the top 1%. How do you believe your reach game is going, not just for BTC, but for the cause?
I think that the fact that the channel has grown, and you know, there's other channels as well who've grown pretty quickly. I think the fact that there has been such growth is a testament to the hunger there was on the left for some type of rebuttal to the deluge of bullshit that's kind of proliferating on the right. And so I think just right there, the fact that people are tuning into this stuff, so much of what I hear from people online is like, you watch the news, and because there's such an emphasis on both sidesism, people start to feel like they're losing their minds in the sense that, like, how many Trump supporters in diners who think that Democrats are a baby-eating cabal are there? And you're like, am I alone here? Like, where is everybody just focusing on common sense? And so I think what this progressive media ecosystem, aside from the mainstream media, because I think the mainstream media has for so long allowed the right to be their assignment editors, basically. I mean, I think there were something like 69 front-page New York Times stories about Hillary's emails, and then when Ivanka Trump did virtually the same thing, it came and went like a fart in a hurricane. So it's clear that the media allows the right to be their assignment editors. And so this is just like kind of a breath of fresh air to see folks on the left in a growing progressive media ecosystem be able to reach people and say, like, yeah, Donald Trump is a criminal. Look what he's done. And not have to equivocate it with, 10 things about how the left is just as bad, or how Joe Biden's age is somehow equivalent to Donald Trump being a convicted felon also facing indictment in 3 other trials that include, among other things, blocking certification of a free and fair election.
I totally get it. But again, then why is it so close? You've got the registration advantage. You've got rationality on your side. You've got reach and resonance in terms of the media. You can say the right is their assignment editors, but I'll tell you, I've never covered anything political as much as I did the Mueller investigation. And I didn't have an option in that. I mean, I wanted to cover it. I was very disappointed in the Mueller report, but that came after I learned that Mueller wasn't Mueller anymore, right? I mean, he clearly wasn't the guy who was sold to us early on. You talk about guys who were in states of decline. So if you have all of these kind of systemic advantages, why is it neck and neck?
If you look, for example, what do you think would have happened if the Nixon situation was today and he had Fox News at his disposal? Do you think there's a shot in hell that he would have resigned?
That's a good question. That is really a great one, but you got to balance it. That he would have had 10 times the heat on him as well. Remember, he had 2 reporters that were breaking most of the stories.
They've got Trump dead to rights. I mean, it's clear what he was on a recording pressuring Brad Raffensperger to find 11,780 non-existent votes. He was literally just telling them to find me enough votes so that I can win illegally, so that I can be anointed the winner of an election I lost. In terms of evidence,
and that's clear. The way Raffensperger took it, by the way, which is very important because, look, on paper, straight line analysis, no. Nixon had Trump beat dead to rights because it was an actual felony that he told them to do, which was a burglary of a campaign space. Now, you could argue, what would Fox News do? Fox News, Newsmax, and Mark Levin and that toxic troll that's on at night at Fox and all the other ones would say, oh yeah, but what did they take? Some papers? Here are 5 fake stories.
The goalpost will always move. That's absolutely for sure.
Right.
But I think the whole point of Fox News, I mean, this was in the Ailes memo, so that what happened to Nixon would never happen again. And here's the perfect example. Here's the culmination of that. Donald Trump did something that I think 99% of Americans who are espousing some degree of common sense would recognize is worse than what Nixon did. I mean, Nixon had people burglarize the DNC. What Trump did was stop a free and fair election, stop the peaceful transfer of power for the first time in over 200 years in our country's history. And the fact that Nixon was excommunicated, but that not only Donald Trump wasn't excommunicated, but that the rest of his party is continuing to rally around him is a testament to the fact that when you have a media who is just running apologia for you nonstop 24 hours a day, it gives you that backing that you need to continue powering through. There's nothing that Donald Trump could do right now that his pals over at Fox, at Newsmax, at OAN, and in the halls of Congress and in the Senate, that they wouldn't back him up and say that what he did was totally fine.
True. But I'll tell you what would change that. You get rid of the party's grip over state primaries, so you don't have to worry about getting primaried by a psycho and losing because of how few people come out, so that you get magnified minorities there. Then they'd stop because people wouldn't have to play the game anymore to get through a primary. And the electeds would stop giving such cover to Donald Trump because they're afraid that he'll beat him in primaries, which he can. But even now, this analysis is not the best path for the Democrat win. The best analysis for the Democrat win is, if it can be mustered, is, listen, you give me control of Congress. You give us, not me, you give us control of Congress. I'm telling you right now, we're going to give the Dreamers what they deserve, which everybody in this country believes they need, okay? I'm going to give CBP everything they want to make the border as safe and the ability to process the way they never have before. I'm going to do that. And then you have to have two other initiatives that are both blanket positives, okay? Have nothing to do with stopping anybody from anything. One, in my opinion, would be I'm going to revitalize the artisan. It's an extension of infrastructure. I'm going to revitalize the artisan class in this country. It's what's hurt our economy the most. Innovation is a reality. AI is a reality. It's going to affect production, and that's progress, and that's how it is. But we are down tradespeople, and they are not hacks. These are the people that build the country, that keep it running, that will always need. You won't always need a lawyer. You'll always need someone who can build your house. And I'm going to restore that and take away the bias in financing from higher education that they don't deserve and they can't deliver on. And then you pick another one, probably something to do with women and reproductive rights. And I will do this. I will make it better. You give me control, and I will stop their game of scaring us all to death. And I will work towards giving us a better life. That's how you beat them. By getting away of the who's worse and which is worse, because I don't think you can win that fight. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
All you're doing is making their negatives less impressive by allowing them to be upset.
Correct.